Welcome. Today is the 19th of August, 2017. Let's talk about some alternate coins, mainly that of Dash, as well as Monero, and then another smaller one that I'm going to talk about at the end, and well, that one will be BitBay. And it's having a great day today as well. But starting off within the Dash chart, I was talking basically during the beginning of the summer, end of the spring, about a smiley shaped formation which basically came to a halt in and around here, thus having a significant down move coming down to 0.045. And today's session so far up about 35%. It was up more, got up to over 85 at this point, and has since sold off a bit. But as I've been stating, when these things are ready to go, they are just, they're going to go. Like we've seen at the end of February, end of March, this thing just went off. And my target level, I would suspect that this thing could make a move to the 0.25 handle on any potential breakout. And I would think it would do it pretty fast. But as it stands right now, it's come to a situation where the market sold off at the point where it was pretty much supposed to. As we had this level at 85, this level, and you know what? This is darn near close enough. I'm going to count that. So the June and early July resistance in August, at least so far today. Areas for possible support, just quickly looking at it, in here above 65 or at 65 up to what looks like 70. But we want to shorten out the time horizon a little bit and take a look at what happened today. It's going to go down all the way down the 3-minute time frame, and that's an interesting volatile chart. But before the 3-minute, let's take a look at a more midterm chart. And this is the 4-hour, which shows just how fast this occurred when it broke out on the 0.057 handle, getting up to close to 0.09. A huge move, to say the least, or a break of 0.085, I think, is better than saying 0.09. Regardless of the fact it broke past all of these levels of previous highs, which are thus areas of where it came from. And that would be in at around 68, and again at around 61, it looks like. These areas are important because if there is going to be any further correction, and thus we're having another resistance in here, then, well, if you're looking for spots where you might want to, or I might want to consider putting a buy order, I don't recommend anything. Other than to myself. And I recommend to myself, yeah, let's buy in here as a potential buy order. But let's shorten it out, and I'm going to show you how I was able to get some good profit. I've talked about this on the channel before. This is the 3-minute time frame. I'll go over the monstrosity of this pattern in a little bit. But when you see these big breaks, you can oftentimes go for some great deals. And I didn't get the advantage or opportunity to get it here, but I did manage to get it in here. And what that is, when a market's breaking out really fast and you own tokens on multiple, at least on the most important exchange, which is in a situation here, on the main code sites like, say, Bittrex or Poloniex, if you happen to own Dash at this point when the market's rising higher, then you can go to smaller exchanges and sometimes get a major discrepancy. And I did that today, where I was able to sell in here, yet buy back in here at the exact same time. So buy at 75 and sell in a range between 80 and 85. And that's just magnificent. So there's between $100 and $200 profit just for about just for being focused on the situation, I noticed this was going up fast, and I say to myself, okay, check the other exchanges, see if there's any availability for bargains, and there was. And then you talk about the strategies of just trying to time the market and understand the volatility of such. And in the situation here, well, this was previous resistance. Heck, you have your sell orders ready to go big time in here, and they hit. Okay, so now you're there, you happen to be at the moment, and you've seen how you're able to buy them back really just in like 10, 15 minutes. And in a situation here, there was an opportunity to buy back at, say, 75. You could sell somewhere over 80 and then buy back again at this situation, or at that point. So you've had this move. Now let's talk about this monstrosity of a setup. And I don't know if that's the best word to use, but it's a situation where you have the monster gain, and here you had that little bit of correctionary move within the band, the up and down movements. So 2 legs higher within, and having these very quick corrections, original profit takers are coming in. And then you get this lower high, and another wave of profit taking comes in. Pretty much a match of previous low. You're in a situation in here that if you end up resisting where it is now, even any of these points in here, and you start to see the market like not doing so well, maybe around the 74 handle, then there'd be definitely concern signs that this move would turn out to be one of the failures kind of deal. And I'm not going to say there'd be a major fast move, but the breakout would need to correct more down here. Usually, if this rally is pretty good, any type of selling that would happen to break 72 on the short-term time frame, I think would have a good shot at coming and then breaking back in this area. I think it would be very healthy if this market just continues to go sideways, maybe in some sort of range of like, say, 66 and 86 for a few days. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be the case, because, yeah, I've talked about the failed move. I think that's rare. Having this thing, having a gain, and then having it correct for a significant period of time, definitely a possibility as well. But since you've had 1, 2 good price corrections on the short-term time frame, that any type of momentum holding these upper areas, seeing it hold and stay above within this time frame, more than a half hour or so above the 80 handle, would be showing super strong, nice looking prospects. And then, of course, momentum over these key levels would work out to be a very strong situation indeed. But as far as these types of moves, expect volatility to come into play. Markets should have some decent day trading availability, probably for a few days. Maybe not as amazing as what's just occurred, but still moves where you should be able to pick away at 5, 6, 8% targets in relatively short periods of time. So that is the dash chart, and we're already almost 9 minutes in. So I only got 2 others to go. Let's go to Monero, which is next. On its daily time frame, we can see Monero is back to well, where it came from. Here, here, and here. We're on the 14 handle, or single 014. It's moved so far up about 18%, and then just all of a sudden, boom, big green candle up. Where have we seen anything like that before? I mean, look at the move here. So does it have more upside potential? I mean, obviously, if it wants to, I think sure. How about March's move going from a low in at right here, up to here in just a few days? There's when these things go, they are gonna go, basically. That's what the whole point of it happens to be. It also means that any type of buying in here means that, well, although I've started selling just a little bit, only bits and pieces, because I would have bought in here. And little bits of what I bought here, I'll sell here. And then I'll try to buy it back if it happens to go lower. But I'll be buying, or selling rather, on different levels. maybe a little bit here. I've got about 9 sell orders ready to go. So, and the reason why I have so many is in case a situation like we've seen like in here comes in, where you just have these massive moves up, and I'm going to be making sure I'm ready to go for whichever possible situation may happen, and always looking to buy them back, because selling here and buying back was successful in that case, and in many other ones in this example as well. On the weekly chart, it's there was a situation where there was an ascending triangle. You can see in here, and it's broken to the downside, and it's at an area of the newly declining 18 average. Look, an area coming towards as a possibility of resistance, and we can already see this previous level as well. However, with that being stated, I think it's important to note, one, you have these higher lows, and so far, the current one at 011 is a higher low from this one in here. And two, and we're seeing this with Dash and Monero today, when these things are ready to go, they're just gonna go. AKA here, or another situation like, so ASL, another situation like, that was a different term back in the 90s for chats, but they just have these big moves when they're ready to go to the upside. So I would expect the same thing, and I don't know if this will happen this week, next, maybe in September or October or November. I really don't know, but by having tokens ready to go, selling a little bit higher, buying that little bit back lower, I'll be ready for when that situation aspires. Finally, we'll end it with a much smaller, lesser known token, in that of BitBay. BitBay, code BAY. It's had some interesting moves along the way as we look back at this, going back to March, as we can see a lot of these beautiful up and down swings, perfect for trying to buy back cheaper every time you're able to sell higher, as any buys done back in these areas in here can now be sold for a profit. At least today, I did sell today, another reason I'm bringing this up. But it also means, okay, I'm able to sell here. I'll try to buy back in here because it's in a bear market. So I don't want to buy in here too badly. At least, well, I sold, if you sell twice, and I think I only sold once, I can't remember. But if you sell, say, here, and you had a sell order here, I would place this buy order somewhere, probably around here somewhere, and this one probably a little leg below this low. And then as far as where my sell orders would be right now, and I think I only have one left, and I think I got it up towards the high in here, because I don't have many tokens. In fact, I just bought, I think, just this one time. I think I just bought for the first time here. Let me just check what I did do. I actually got out of my position on July the 1st at 1178. I don't usually do that, but in a situation here where I would have sold in here, as it was breaking down, maybe it was a short term, I don't know why, but I did. Obviously, I felt it was going lower. I guess I was right, because I didn't buy it back to 425, which would have been somewhere in here. And I have now since only sold what I purchased, or the amount of Bitcoin that was, at 692. And then I'll be looking to, like I stated, sell the remainder bit of it south of this point. And I do have my buy order in at 502 in here. And I also have one at around 168 as well. So I have that there in case this level gets taken out. It's going to have an okay move. That's pretty much about right for me. And then getting in at 502, which is basically buying back what I just sold below 700. So that's a gain of like 30-40%. That's like awesome on just a small stakes, but still It's when you have hundreds of different codes working like this, you have no choice but to put small stakes on it. And then the situation coming back here, I realize that long term this is going to work out because I've already sold before what I bought even. So what I'm writing up here is free tokens. And whenever I buy anything going lower like this, better than 9 times out of 10, it's going to work out for a sale and profit. Which means for the 1 time out of 10, something I buy keeps going lower, those losses can easily be adjusted or swallowed, if you will, for the fact that the other 9 times have had spectacular gains to wipe out your loss. All right, thank you for tuning into this close to 16-minute video. I hope you found this helpful, entertaining, educational. Anything in which you do from this is within your own risk, own reward, and have yourself a great weekend. Bye-bye.